well, and both are going to fit very well. I like big guards. I like long wings. Both are going to be able to be moved around. They just got to get used to Division I basketball. It's a big challenge, and I kidded Laney the other day. I said, we don't play Hoxie, on the schedule. And of course, Hoxie is where my assistant coach's mom coaches, and she goes, "Good thing they've won like 90 in a row." So, like, yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, should have picked another school. Learned my lesson there.
What's been the biggest positive surprise for you in your new position here?
Wow. It really hasn't been a surprise. I think the fan support, it's one of the reasons that drew me back to here. So I wouldn't say that's been a surprise. I've enjoyed all the restaurants in town. I didn't know there was that many restaurants. That's been a bad surprise. But no, we've loved every bit of it. Really, there really hasn't been any surprises. I mean, you don't make a move, I was at TCU 15 years, you don't make a move without researching things very well, from the administration to the people you're going to work with, from the president, from everything, Manhattan, to all the things that you can do. So we researched it very well. Matter of fact, Shannon and I were talking about it last night. That's my wife. And we were talking about it last night, and she was just saying, boy, it's been really good this first year. As crazy as it's been, it has been really, really good. And we haven't had a lot of time to talk with the schedules and stuff, but so really hasn't been surprised. Everything's been very, very good. Yeah.
How about the Lewis woman? How is she coming?
Yeah, pretty good. She played in Poland, and I got to watch it online. She played with Athletes in Action, both her and Young. I watched it online and didn't think she played very well. But she was playing against 6'9", who was 31 years old and been a professional for 11 years. She played against 6'8", who was 28 years old, had been a professional for 7 years. The competition she went up against in Poland was fantastic, and so she came back and she played the strongest I've seen her play. Her work ethic has gotten better. Bree will do whatever you ask her to do, but really hadn't done more than that. So we obviously weren't asking enough. So I asked her to do more, and then we had some shooting partners this summer. So we put her with Kelly Thompson because Kelly never leaves the gym. And the rule was you had to be with your shooting partner every time they were in the gym. So Bree spent more time in the gym this summer and really, really played well. And she's a really a coachable kid. I really like her. But she's never grown up the type that, in the gym all the time. Now, she grew up in Milwaukee, and she grew up in a fairly tough area, so it's not like, at 8 o'clock at night you're going to feel like walking down to the gym. You're probably a little weary. I mean, I went to her house when I took the job, and it's a rougher part of Milwaukee. Some our players here at the BTF, my daughter goes to the BTF to shoot 10:30 at night, and I don't have to worry about that. Some kids aren't as fortunate. So Bree hasn't grown up with that kind of availability to get in the gym. So she's learning.
Tell us about the other 4 freshmen then.
Yeah, well, we've got Laney, we've got Kaylee, we've got Kayla Goth from Wisconsin. And Kayla is, she ACL'd her senior year. She has been rehabbing. Her text yesterday was she was glad to be a basketball player again because she gets cleared to do basketball work. She just got cleared yesterday to come back and do basketball work. Good athlete, 6-foot guard. We think, she's come back now. He works hard. She was just tired of being you know, like all the ACL kids, they get tired of running on the treadmill. They get tired of doing all that stuff, and she'll finally get to do some basketball stuff. We've got the two from Knoxville. We've got Anna Hamaker, guard, and then we've got Cheyenne Hooper, 6'6" kid. Both of those did very well. The 6'6" kid had kind of an up and down summer, but she's going to be the furthest away just from a physical standpoint. No different than you guys saw Bree Lewis come from Milwaukee, and it takes time. I asked Bree Lewis, how many times in high school did you play a player your size? And she said, never. Never. Well, we have a male practice squad that goes up against our team every day. So every single day, they go up against players their size. We've got one that's like 6'6". We've got another one that's 6'4". So it's so different than high school. So I think Cheyenne Hooper and Anna, the guard, I think has a chance. I hope her shot gets where it needs to get. That's what she needs to do, is make shots. Struggle a little bit with the speed of the game this summer. But the 6'6" kid had her moments against Lewis. And then, but she falls down all the time. So I finally told her, I said, would you get some pads on? I go, because that thing's hurting me. So the next day she looked like a rollerblader. You know, she had pads here and pads there. And then the other one, I was mistaken. They weren't all freshmen. We've got a transfer from Louisville coming in, Megan Dynas. And Dynas has not been here yet. She will get here Saturday. But she has not practiced at all. She had to graduate Louisville. That's part of that grad school rule. She graduated Louisville on August 12th. She still has a year of eligibility. She graduated in 3 years. Dynas is a player that I recruited at TCU. Her father played professionally in France for 18 years, and I think she's got a chance. She only has 1 year, though, but it'll be a good stopgap for us. We went after a player like that because of the Kayla Goth injury, to if we needed to redshirt Goth. So anyways, got a lot of names there. All right, one more question. Yeah.
Next 90 days, what's the biggest challenge for your program, and what are the 2 resources that will help you overcome it?
It sounds like an interview.
Sound like 2 questions.
Yeah. Man, I wish I had 16 other Republican candidates up here with me, and I only had a minute. Next question. All right, so 90 days and the 2 things. Biggest challenge to overcome them. I think the biggest challenge to overcome, the next 90 days will bring this. It'll bring the first 14 of those days will be our individual work with our players. The next 20 of those, for me personally, will be recruiting the 2017 class. And because we have a class that could go as big as 5, that's a huge class for us, and getting on the front end of that class is extremely important. The biggest obstacle to that is you're always balancing leaving your team and what that takes away from a practice. And then I think the final 30 days will be in preparation for our season with this team, is how good can we be offensively? Because I do not believe that we can ever be a championship team offensively like we were a year ago. We were a really poor offensive team, and we did not make a lot of shots, but we won a lot of games because they played very smart. So I think the biggest obstacle to us over becoming a better offensive team is just us understanding how each player can score the ball the best way. So I think that'll be a big challenge for our staff. The other challenge that I would talk about, the recruiting piece, is that the 2017 class, we've got a lot of really good Kansas players on our roster right now, and that's great. Unfortunately, the 2017 class is not a very strong class in the state of Kansas. It's not a very strong class in the state of Nebraska. It's not a very strong class in the state of Missouri. It is a very average class in the state of Oklahoma. It is going to be a real challenge